Just want to do a quick review of my experience with Elliot Reed down at Revitalised Clinic in Gravesend. Now, I'll give you a bit of background about myself. I'm an ex-professional boxer. I'm now a professional boxing coach and also a level 3 personal trainer. I, throughout my career, was hindered by an injury, or I don't know if you'd call it an injury, but basically, throughout my career, when the intensity and the volume of the training stepped up, I used to get a lot of discomfort down my side in my lat muscle, and when it was at its worst, I couldn't lift my hand above my head. I had to really work and pull my hand up and force my hand up to stretch it out. And this has been going on for 10 years. This has been going on for, and throughout my boxing career, I'd spent thousands of pounds on people sticking needles in it, people massaging it out, rubbing special creams and putting heat pads on it and stuff like that. Putting electric charges through it. So yeah, this injury cost me a lot of money just so I could continue boxing and continue my career and try and keep the discomfort down to a minimum. Anyway, after I finished my career, I stopped having any sort of work on it because obviously I wasn't in the gym as much and the intensity of my training stepped right down. But even then, if I had a particularly hard session in the gym, that was it. For a couple of days afterwards, my shoulder could barely move and I couldn't move my arm above my head. So again, this is something that's been going on for 10 years, at least 10 years. And I'd worked with Elliot a couple of times in the past with a few back issues that I'd had. And when I see that he was offering online sessions, I jumped at the chance to work with him because I knew that if anyone could sort it, then Elliot could. And obviously he's got the money back guarantee if it doesn't work. So we had our first session, and he was asking me questions, and he come up with some questions that made me think, and I was like, I didn't realise, I completely forgotten that I'd actually dislocated my shoulder back when I was playing football when I was in my late teens. And he basically said that the pain and discomfort that I'm having is sounds like something of like a dislocation, like with a previous dislocation. I was like, no. Oh, actually, yeah, I remembered that. So yeah, that was amazing. That he got me to remember that. Anyway, so he gave me some exercises to do, which was some self massage and some strengthening work, and we booked in a follow up consultation. Now, I think the follow up was about 7 to 10 days later. So basically, in the first session, the pain and discomfort I was in was probably at the time of the session probably about a 5 or a 6, maybe even a 7. But in the previous week, we're in lockdown, and all I've got to do is train. A few days before the previous week, I'd say it was up to about a level 8 or a 9. To the point again where I couldn't lift my arm above my head because it was so uncomfortable to do so, and it just felt weak. It literally felt I couldn't lift my arm above my head. So after about 7 to 10 days, when we had the follow-up session, he asked me to rate the pain and discomfort, which I said I think was about a 3 or 4, and I said I want to say lower, but I can still feel it's there. And again, this is the hardest I've trained in a long time. I said, so I want to say it's lower than a 3 or 4, but I still feel it's there, so I don't want to sort of tempt fate. Anyway, so that's fine. That's good progress. So he gave me some other exercises to do, and we upped the weight of the strength work that I was doing. And we're supposed to have a follow-up session today. And I messaged Elliot the other day, a couple of days ago, and said, look, I feel like I'm really managing the pain and discomfort well, to the point where I'm not getting any. And since the last session we had together, my training has stepped up massively. So I'm throwing a lot more punches on the bag now, lifting heavier weights, and basically, yeah. So the volume and intensity of my training's gone right up. So Elliot said, look, manage it over the next couple of days, and then before we have our follow-up session, just check in and let me know how you're getting on. So I messaged him this morning. I said, I'm literally in zero pain. If I was going to rate my discomfort, it'd be 0. And if it wasn't for the fact that I was focusing on doing the exercises, I wouldn't even realise that I had an injury there in the past, something that's been there for 10 years. So Elliot said, well, if that's the case, we don't need a follow-up session. And I just wanted to jump on and do this review, basically just to say thanks to Elliot, and also how much I appreciate the honesty of cancelling the follow-up session, which is not needed. So yeah, this is basically just a thank you to Elliot Reid and Revitalise Clinic. I know he's got an amazing team down there. Like I said, I've worked with him in the past for some back issues, and everyone that's been saying, "Oh, I need to go and get a massage," and I'm like, "Listen, go and see my my guy online, Elliot Reid." I've passed his number out to a few different people, and I know he's having a getting good results with people he's working with. And that's it. That's my review of my experience with Elliot Reid, Revitalise Clinic online.